Hey, in this video, I want to show you how you can unlock more time in your business and produce massive amounts of production equivalent to having a huge team, even if you are a solo producer. So this is going to be a behind the scene look at one of our group coaching calls for our paid clients in our mastermind community in Good Vibe Squad. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. So we want to unlock the ability to pump out massive productions equivalent to having huge teams, even if you are a solo producer. So there's an asterisk there, as you guys will see as I go through this presentation. So here's a really powerful quote from Gary Vaynerchuk, 5-time, New York bestseller. I'm sure you guys, if you don't know who he is, I think he has like a bazillion followers. And so time is the only asset none of us are ever going to get more of. Like, it's the truth, right? It's always a race against time. And so how do we actually unlock more time? Okay. So secret unlocking time. Well, I want to first talk about these three people right here. So you got Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, you got Jeff Bezos of Amazon, you got Elon Musk of Tesla. What do these three people have in common? Apart from they are billionaires, right? So obviously, they're billionaires, but here's the thing though. All three of these guys, they are actually self-made billionaires, right? Very interesting. But like, if you think about it, like, how can this doesn't even comprehend in my mind? Like, how do you do that? How do you build a $1 billion business company, just make massive, this massive value when we all have 24 hours in the day, right? And so the answer would be, it's all about people and systems, right? It's all about people and systems. This is how we unlock more time. Okay. Now, this might be a crazy example because these are billionaires, right? But let me put this in a perspective that you guys can relate to. Let's look at a doctor, right? If you have a doctor, let's say I want to talk to a doctor, or I want to see a doctor right now, right? I cannot just walk in the clinic or the hospital or whatever and then talk directly to the doctor. I can't even call a doctor. Like, seriously, I cannot. I would have to go through a receptionist. I would have to go through a nurse first before I can talk to the doctor, right? And so the problem is, you guys as loan officers right now, we have been like almost falsely ingrained with this broken model that you guys have to do everything, right? Like, if a client calls you, you gotta like answer that. Now there are some positives to that, and I'll talk about this like a little bit later. But I think this is a mindset thing, what I talked about earlier, right? So skill sets, character traits, and belief. It's something like, if we believe that we have to do everything ourselves, then this is when I just don't have enough time, like I just can't. And so I'm gonna talk about the Time Accelerator. So this is a framework that we created this, and there's 5 steps to the Time Accelerator. Okay, so every one of you guys need to go through this. So the first thing is, we need to identify what are your low return activities, what are your medium return activities, and what are your high return activities. Okay, so again, it's not just low effort activities. I'm not saying high effort, right? I'm saying return. What is the return to me? What are these activities that has the highest return to me? And then we need to simplify the steps required for each of these activities. And then we need to automate the low return activities. We need to delegate the medium return activities. And then we need to focus on the high return activities. David mentioned that, like, if you reverse engineer everything based on your goal, you just need to know, what are the things that I need to be doing? Meaning, what are the things that I need to be focusing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? And you would be amazed at how realistic this goal becomes, because, like, oh my God, I just need to do these things and I'm able to get this. Awesome. Okay. So here's the things that we've seen that works, right? And you guys already, if you guys signed up with us, you guys already understand a little bit, you understand the big picture, but I want to go deep into this, right? I want to get to the specifics. So what are the things that we've actually seen that works, right? So things to automate, that means we need to automate communication, right? Like, this is just bare bones, specific things that we can actually automate, meaning we are automating the texting, we're automating the emails, we're automating the voicemails. We need to automate the follow-ups, right? We need to automate the appointments. We need to automate the reminders, right? That way, like, you guys don't need to think about that, right? And then we need to automate the nurture process, right? That means like giving educational resources. We created like a lot of PDF guides, resources. We have educational videos, so we're already automating, right? So this is already being done for you guys. And then automating asking for 5-star reviews as well, and then automating for asking for client referrals, right? So we're already doing this too. So the important thing though for you guys is you need to make sure that when you fund a deal, outside of our system, because you're not, when you guys fund that deal, you're going to be in your LOS, right? Once you do that, you need to go back to our system and 10-3 on demand. Make sure you actually, put it to funded. That way we could automate the requests. Okay, so very important. Now, it's not just what things to automate. Who are we automating this for, right? This is also very important to understand. So we need to automate for the prospects. We need to automate for the clients. We need to automate for referral partners. And these communications are going to be 3 different things, right? But this is like the big picture here. So for the prospect, we are automating the follow-ups, we're automating the appointments, we're automating the reminders, and we're automating the nurture, right? If they are not yet ready right now, put them into not yet ready. We're literally giving them videos, PDF guides, articles. We're emailing them. And I promise you guys, there is so much power here. There's already a lot of people here that have used that, especially for the newer folks. Put it to not yet ready. We literally, I think the most recent one was Mina made a post recently, or John Efifano also, who's our lens setter of the month. And then Aaron, Aaron literally says, I put someone in not yet ready. 7 months, after 7 months, I've only spoken with this person once. She reached back out because of the Not Yet Ready campaign, and then she got a deal from that. Okay, so very powerful. And then clients, we want to automate the reviews, we want to automate the referrals, we want to automate the nurture, and then we automate the repeat sale, right? So again, we're doing this. We have database reactivations as well in the system. Okay, and then we want to automate the referral partners, right? We want to automate the connections to new referral partners. We want to automate the appointments to these referral partners. We want to automate the nurture. We want to automate the referrals, right? Now, we also have this already in your system. We have a third pipeline, the referral partners, the referral partner attraction pipeline, okay? Just so you know, though, for the newer folks, I would just focus on the prospects right now, okay? Do not distract yourself. I mean, I'm letting you guys know that there's so much in the system. There's like deep here, like we're very advanced, but do not distract yourself with this for now. Just focus on the prospects. Understand how the workflow goes, and then really start taking applications, getting them pre-approved, and then once you have those pre-approvals, that's what we're going to be using for the referral partners. Okay. Go ahead.
So as soon as you drag that client over to not yet ready, there's nothing else you have to do for that automation to start, correct?
That is 100% correct. Yeah, you literally just drag it there, Salvatore, and that automatically starts it. I think you're laggy. Okay, did you hear what I just said?
What happened there? Did you get my question?
Yes. So okay. Your question was, if you just move them, and for newer folks, if you just move someone to not yet ready, you do not need to do anything else. That is correct. Okay. You literally just move them to not yet ready. You do not need to do anything else. Now, this is for everyone. For you guys to understand, the not yet ready campaign, that will not do anything at all for 30 days. Okay. We give the client 30 days. After the 30 days, it's going to send them a text to kind of catch up with them. And then every month, it's just going to email them helpful tips. Okay. Now, here's the thing, though, just a side note, quick tip on that. If you guys are going to put them into not yet ready, it is best to give the client context first. Like, all right, so no worries, let's say, they're not yet ready. Maybe they're looking to buy, like a year from now, or whatever. Hey, no worries, man. Here's what I'll do. I will check in with you about, a month from now, just to kind of see how things are going. And I'll just send you helpful information like every month, right? Does that sound good? Sound cool? Awesome. So at least you're kind of letting them know, like, we're also gaining permission, right? They're gonna be like, yo, why are you reaching out? Well, yeah, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out after a month, and I will check in with you every month. Right? Cool. Awesome. All right. All right. Sound good? Perfect.
Oh, good. Yep.
So, all right. So now let's talk about delegation, right? And this is really a huge thing. And personally for me, this is it's really hard. This is one of the things that I've had to really personally even work with myself, because as entrepreneurs, this is a curse. This is actually a curse because you cannot be good. You cannot get to where you are right now without being good, right? Like the three things that we just talked about. You have to be skilled, you have to have the right character traits, and you have to have the belief. And so, no one can ever do what you do best than you, right? But we have to really think about, for us to really be able to grow the business, we need to stop thinking as a salesperson and start thinking as a business owner, right? So things to delegate. All right. So the first thing here is like your marketing, right? Like lead generation. We already do this for you guys. So that's it. Like you already delegated this to us. Perfect, right? That's like creating the sales pages, setting up the scheduling pages, creating the ads, the ad management. Like there's like new ad platform, like new changes in the ad platform. We already do that for you guys. Okay. But I think it's important that I really put this in here because there's a lot of and I did a good amount of like interviews within the past 2 weeks. And it's interesting seeing like how a lot of people, a lot of our clients, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this, before hopping on here, they did a lot of these things themselves. Actually, David, we literally was talking about this. David was literally trying to create his own ads, trying to figure out the Facebook pixel, where to put this. And oh my God, right? Like, it's just like, you just want to, you just want to, yeah, exactly. All right. And then setting up the CRM, right? You want to delegate this CRM setup, creating the message template, setting up the automation. Oh my God. Like, there's just so much here. And then the nurture process, right? So you're creating the educational videos, creating the PDFs. You have to get like a copywriter. You got like we have a graphic designer, we have a video editor. Like there's so much in here. So and then here's the other thing is calling reschedules. So calling reschedules, just for full transparency, guys. This is something that we are currently working on. Is we're working on an LOA service, or like a sales coordinator service that we're going to try to actually do all of this to a degree for you guys. Okay. Now, but do not rely on us. Don't just rely on us. This is why it's so important for you guys to have your own LOA if you can, right? Now I'll talk about this, like the different levels, because this is the reality of it. Like you just can't do everything, right? So calling reschedules, and shout out to Kayla. Kayla is here. She is David's LOA, and she has been tremendous at like doing a lot of these things. Okay, and so calling for reviews, right? Calling for referrals as well, right? And then the processing. So this one is huge. I really want to bring this up because if you are doing your own processing, you need to get a processor. Okay, you need to get a processor. Like, the document collection. If you are a solo producer, don't misinterpret this. If you are brand new, you're new in the system, you're brand new, you have to be doing this, right? There's no shortcut to this. You have to do this yourself. And you got to learn, right? You have to do it. And maybe you can't afford to hire right now. That's fine, right? You have to do it first. But if you get to a point where if there's one thing that you can immediately delegate, this would be it, right? You just don't want to think about this. You could put the file together if you want, but you need to have like an actual processor, the documents collection, remaining conditions, right? Now here's the other thing. What are the areas, at least this is just how I think, this is how my brain works. If I have to delegate, what are the different areas that I have to be delegating for, right? So the three things would be marketing, would be sales, and then processing, right? So again, the marketing, you guys are already delegating this to us. Lead generation, ad management, CRM setup, automation, social media management. This part, you guys are still kind of doing this a little bit. We don't do this, just to be clear, okay, the social media management. But we have been doing a lot of master classes on this, especially for the newer folks. That's something that social media in general, that's a different conversation. That is a very deep conversation. But the biggest thing for me, and this is really what I truly believe, and I this is my own experience for us growing Good Vibes Squad, because you guys probably see you see our ads, you see how I post, you see our stuff. You want the very minimum is I always follow the Jaime principle. Okay, so what is Jaime? It means high impact, minimum effort, right? Jaime. Okay, so high impact, minimum effort. I always create evergreen content. What does that mean? Evergreen content, you only create the content once, and then you can reuse it over and over and over again. And so this is what I use for my social media. You guys could see I'm not posting every day right now. That would be amazing if you could do that. But where you guys are right now, truthfully, it's probably not going to be the best use of your time. Okay, it is just not right now, at least. Okay, depending on where you are in your business. And then on the sales side, we want to delegate, obviously the educational videos, the guides, reschedule no-shows on the sales side, calling for reviews and calling for referrals. If you guys have an LOA right now, they should be doing this. Okay. And then the third thing is processing, right? We want to be processing the document collection, getting conditions, basically taking the file to the finish line, right? Does this make sense, guys? Any questions here? Makes sense, right? Cool. Awesome. But do you guys also see, like, do you see how powerful this is, right? Like, do you see, like, in your mind, like, oh my God, how much time am I already saving here, right? So this is the powerful thing about here. And then here's the biggest deal. This is where you guys need to be focusing on. If there is, there's actually 5 things. There's only 5 things that you need to be focusing on. Now, if you're brand new, you're kind of like, you're brand new, you're doing everything yourself, no problem. You have to do it, right? But you want to get to a point where if you get to a point where this is only the 5 things that you focus on, you will crush it, okay? So the first thing is you need to be the one showing up on the appointments and taking the calls. There is no excuses here. You cannot delegate this. You cannot delegate your experience. You cannot delegate your expertise, and you cannot delegate building that relationship with the prospect because it's you, right? This is your brand. You have to build this brand, right? You have to build that trust. You cannot fake trust. You cannot fake relationship, right? So you have to build this. So this is the first one. The second thing is you have to be doing the consult calls and taking the application, right? Like, you just have to do it. So you got to be doing this, right? Now, keep in mind, there's other layers. There's other levels here where if you're big enough, you can already start delegating this stuff. For example, Amanda Landers, who's also one of our clients, she has been working with us since August of 2018. I just had an interview with her. And she's able to delegate this already because she has a team already. Okay. Now, but if you're brand new, and for most of you, I would say 90% of you, you have to be doing this. Okay. And so third thing is getting applications pre-approved, right? Again, you have to be doing this, right? But again, you could get to a point where you can start delegating some of this, right? And then the fourth thing is originating loans, right? Obviously, I was actually talking with Justin Enos just yesterday and the other day. And Justin was saying, how he would best phrase this, which I agree with him, is like, basically originating loan is like basically putting out fires, basically, right? And kind of like babysitting this from the very beginning to the end. That's how Justin phrased it. And so which makes sense, right? Like, but you have to be doing this, right? At least in where that stage is right now. And most of all, and the most important of all is you have to be building relationships. There is no excuse. This is your bread and butter, right? We literally talked about this just last week. You need to be a mortgage wealth advisor, right? And for the newer folks, basically the whole idea for this is, how do you really, truly maximize and 10x the value of your borrowers? And the only way to do this is to graduate and to elevate. You have to stop being a mortgage loan originator, because as a mortgage loan originator, you are only helping them. You are the guide to help them, the journey of home ownership, right? So you're getting them to home ownership. But a home ownership, this is a one-time transaction, right? This is a one-time transaction. But journey to personal wealth, this is a lifetime journey, right? And so you want to become a mortgage wealth advisor, okay? Does this make sense, guys? Do you see how powerful that if this are the 5 things that you focus on, that you could literally double your mortgage production? Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this training so far, go ahead and like this video and consider just subscribing to the channel. I post these videos consistently. That way you don't get to miss the next video that we drop. All right, so let's continue back to the training. So this was a powerful, powerful quote that Justin Enos shared. We literally just spoke about this yesterday. And, you know, Justin was kind enough to share this. I found this to be truly fascinating. So he talked about, and Justin's story is really amazing as well. He has really grown his business. I'll let you, Justin, share kind of your story a little bit later. But he has grown his business. But more importantly, he has unlocked more time to be able to spend with his family. Okay, this is super crucial here. But here's what he said. The 3 things your clients care about are: you need to be fast, you need to be convenient, and you need to be available, right? Now, here's the thing though. This is quite interesting to me too, because, you know, the third thing here is like, so you need to be fast, you need to be convenient, and you need to be available, right? Now, if you think about it, this is kind of like the opposite. This is a little bit contradictory to what I just said earlier. I'm like, yo, you just said earlier that, you know, you cannot be like, you know, constantly answering clients, you know, you know, constantly being available to unlock more time. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay. So what I said earlier, I just want to clarify this, is again, this is kind of we need to understand this on the belief part, right? Is because you need to be available to your clients and prospects because you need to be building relationships, right? And for you to get the 5-star review, for you to get more referrals, for you to become the very best, for you to become a top 1% producer, you know, people talk, right? And I really hope like you guys could see this. We literally practice what we preach. If you guys notice this, and Salvatore, you know, you mentioned earlier that someone recommended you to us, right? You know, you didn't just get an ad from us. Now, granted, you know, there's a lot of people that get our ads. And I think, Russ, you even mentioned that you had a friend also that recommended you to us as well, right? So it is word of mouth, guys. There is no shortcut to this. You have to put in the work. But if you put in the work, and I just absolutely love this, so you have to be fast, you have to be convenient, and you have to be available. This is how you're able to really build a true long-term sustainable mortgage business. Okay. Does this make sense, guys? Do you see how powerful this is? Okay. Any questions there? Okay, cool. But yeah, I absolutely love that. And Justin, if you don't mind, like, can you kind of share too? Because I found this really fascinating because and I'll be very honest with you guys. Like, as you guys know, I've always been honest. I've always been very direct. And you know, we tell you straight up, right? I don't have all the answers, right? Like, I don't have all the answers, but here's the thing though. Here's the thing that we truly have invested in is we became very, very good. We became excellent. I would even say outstanding in a couple of things, right? And that I would say is like lead generation and building systems. Okay. And Preston is like outstanding on the sales side. So this is why like our combination truly has been like magnificent. And our team, right? Like our team is amazing. Like we literally like, I just talked about this like last week. Every single person in our team, we have core values. And we know you guys could, you know, we have team members here. You guys could ask them. We really talk about, we are not a marketing company. We are not even a consulting company. We are a life transformation company. Okay. Every single person in our team knows this, and every decision we make, every action we do, every, you know, whether it's like every decision we make comes through this lens. Okay. And so I really think that it's so powerful when, you know, you have this. And Justin's story was like quite amazing because he put in the work, man. Like I have a lot of respect for Justin. He did everything before. Okay. So can you kind of share your story, Justin? Like when you started, like way back, bro, like talk about like when you started and then kind of like what that transition was with this.
Sure. And you guys will probably relate as loan officers. But when I first started in the industry, I was lazy as heck. It was just me and my wife. And she was my girlfriend at the time. And we had no responsibilities. So I would, work the bare minimum I could just to get enough money to support my habits, which was playing video games all night. And we both played video games together literally all night. And that was great. So we started to think about having kids. And then once that fire got lit under my butt, that was back in 2019, I really hustled and I did more volume than I ever did, which was about 12 million. And we decided that, I should probably do more volume. And so in 2020, when everything went to heck, obviously we all had our best years ever, but, I too had my best year ever, but what I noticed was lacking was the time aspect of it. So, I was putting in, and you guys can probably all relate, at the very, very minimum, like 10 hours a day, but usually closer to 12 or 13. I show up in the office at about 8, don't come home till 7 or 8, and I'm still working when I get home because there's just the bandwidth was not enough to support the capacity of all the people that were doing loans. So I did that for a good portion of the year. We had our kid at the time, and I didn't have any time for my family. But I honestly, if I was a single dude, I probably could have just did that all year and probably worked more because it was pretty fun. Anyway, I did about 30 million in 2020. And in 2021, I made it my personal goal to at least maintain the same volume while drastically reducing my hours. So I read this really good book by Ed Mylett. He went through the pandemic. He had to kind of downsize his office because of all the COVID restrictions, but they decided to give a trial of severely restricting your hours that you can work every day. So I did the same thing. I dropped my hours. I said I would not work any longer than 6, unless an absolute emergency. I got to push it to 7 hours per day. And I ended up doing that for the whole year, 2021. I had my second kid, had a lot more time from my family, and I went from 30 million to about 38 million last year. And I'm trying to keep up that pace this year. So I pretty much reduced the amount of work I was doing by about 40 to 50%. But I still kept myself available. One of the big reasons my clients and my realtors like to work with me is because they can call me literally anytime and I'm not going to be mad. I may not answer, but I'll be available and I can text and, tell them when I can't talk. These suitcases are stuff cash. I wish that would be great. But no, that's my soundproofing. Otherwise I'd be too echoey. So I had to put something in the room. But yeah, so I had a great couple years. Want to keep up that volume. GVS is going to definitely help me get there and keep that and maintain that in my new market. I'm in a completely new place. So that's going to be another challenge this year.
I love it, man. Thank you for sharing that, Justin. But like, I think the other component to this, guys, is like, I also just want to really share this because I think it's really important for you. We all need to be honest with what we want. Okay. Because the thing is, and I'll be honest with you guys, like sometimes like people tell me like, oh, bro, like you work too much, bro. Like you work too much and you work too much. You got to have balance in your life, but like the thing is, like I enjoy what I do. Like I legitimately do. Like I legitimately enjoy what I do. And so to me, I'm not even working now, like I think all I'm saying is like, it's important, like family to Justin is important. Like his, spending time with his wife, spending time with his kids. I think for all of us, actually, let me rephrase that. For a lot of us, I don't want to make any assumptions, right? Because we don't want to make assumptions. I think the most important thing to really take out of this is like, you have to be honest with yourself on what is important to you, right? Because don't let other people's shit be put to you where like, oh, you're working too much, like, well, what if I enjoy what I want? There's nothing wrong with that. Like I'd love to work more because I have a goal too. Like, this is also another quote from Alex Ramosi. He talks about, and just to give you guys some context on what this guy has done, he is worth over 100. He had over $100 million at this point. Okay, so obviously, like, money is not just the end all be all, right? But I'm just giving you guys some context on what level this guy is. Okay, so he is worth like over $100 million, and he talks about how when he got there, he was just working crazy hours. He was working crazy hours. His first girlfriend, apparently, was this back in college. He was basically obsessed, or like the girlfriend was obsessed with finding happiness. Okay. So like, oh man, like I got to optimize for happiness. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. And the interesting thing about it is the fact that he said when they broke up, he also got obsessed with like finding happiness. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. And then finding what gives me happiness, what gives me joy. And because of him doing that, he actually got into depression when they broke up. Okay. When they broke up, because to him, like happiness to him at that time, he has this preconceived notion, like, I got to be like with a beautiful relationship and, stuff like this. But what he did is like, when that happened, he was like, he almost got, and don't quote me on this. I don't, like there's like different ideas here, but like, I'm going to quote him. He said like, well, fuck happiness. Like, I just want to win. Okay. Like he was like, fuck happiness. I want to win. Okay. And so what he did was he was like, yo, I want to win. I'm going to do everything in my power to actually get to where I want to be. Right. And so when he did this, though, the interesting thing about it is when he stopped caring about happiness, or like his definition of being happy. Okay. He became a lot more fulfilled as a person because he did not have the expectation that he wanted to be happy, right? Because if we have an expectation that like, oh, I want to be happy, if I have an expectation that what I'm doing is I need to be, it will give me happiness, that expectation, that unrealistic expectation actually keeps me from feeling happy, which actually makes me feel like not happy. Does that make sense? So the fact that he was not chasing happiness, he just wanted to win, he actually felt more fulfilled because he's able to focus on what are the things that I need to be doing. I know that this is going to get me to my goal, which eventually made him a happier person, right? And so what I'm saying is you have to be clear on what you want to be doing, and what are your boundaries, right? So for example, Justin said that he set a boundary where like, yo, I'm only going to be working 6 hours, and I'll spend more time with my family, right? That's awesome. That's amazing, right? But don't don't try to just follow him, right? What do you want, right? It just depends, right? Like I'm in a phase right now where for me, I am yep, Jim, awesome. And I'm in a phase right now where I just recently got engaged several months ago, if you guys don't know. So I'm very excited about that. I am going to like this next phase for me. And so that is important to me. Like I'm being more cognizant of like time. I got to spend more time with family. We're thinking about kids as well. But if you're single, if you're just trying to like win, like screw happiness, right? And I don't mean that by that, but like screw the idea of chasing happiness. Okay, I think that's a better way to put it. But like, what are the things that I need to be doing to win, right? Because if this is what I want, well, this is going to give me happiness to begin with, right? Does that make sense, guys? Any questions there? Any clarifications? Awesome. All right. Kids are overrated. Focus on just making them. Oh man, that's a code for the week there, Mark. But yeah, I hope this has been very valuable for you guys. This I really believe in this. What we're doing, where you guys are in right now, I truly, truly believe that you are in the best possible position right now. There is no other means. Like, we're constantly wanting, what are the things that you guys can do to help grow your business and help change your life. If there are things that you guys need, there's questions, always feel free to reach back out to us. We have our team. We have the Facebook group. If there's things that you guys need from us, always reach out and, keep winning. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this training. Now, if you have other questions, feel free to comment below. I read these and I do take your feedback into consideration. Let me know too, what was your biggest takeaway from this video? And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I post these videos consistently, and so that you don't get to miss the next one. All right, so check out all these other videos, and I will talk with you soon.